Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 625. I'm Bryan Cohen from Best Page Forward. Very, very excited to be here. And this is a change of sorts that is coming that I'm going to share here today as we are doing something new with the show. Don't worry, we're not totally changing up the format. We're not totally upending everything. But we are making some changes, which I will share with you today on the show. A couple of weeks ago, we asked a question: what do you want to hear me cover on the show? You guys had some amazing answers. And so a lot of the questions today are going to come from you. And so the lightning round today is going to come from you. There have been several big, impactful news stories lately. Today, I am going to talk a little bit about the Anthropic settlement. So, a lot of people who have ever registered copyrights with their books have been waiting and waiting for the Anthropic settlement to come through. I've spoken to multiple authors who are actually waiting on a fairly sizable payday. If you have your copyrights, if you have been keeping up with things, this is an opportunity to claim some settlement money from Anthropic. But I have heard there have been some delays in things, and hopefully the settlement goes through as planned, because a lot of authors have been kind of planning out the year based on how much money they are going to get from this settlement. I know in one case, an author who has over 24 books that they filed the copyright for, and so they will be receiving a fairly large payday from Anthropic. But what we don't really know is this going to come through? Is this actually going to go all the way through? Will people get their money? That is the big hope. That is the big question. And so the question I have kind of for myself here, and obviously another solo show, is, does this mean every author from now on should get their copyright in case of something like this coming up? Now, I will admit, I have never gotten one of my books copywritten. I have never gone through that step and registered and gotten everything all tied up in a nice little bow. And that's on me. Maybe I could have, I don't know if any of my books were used by Anthropic specifically. I know I could look that up. But I could have been entitled to a payday here. But I don't think that's necessarily the reason to go and do these things, to prepare for future lawsuits. I really think that if you want to really make sure you have your legal I's dotted and your T's crossed, it's not a bad idea to try to, in the future, make this part of your process. Because for many of these authors, this has been part of their process for so long, they always get the copyright. And so if you want to be more professional with this, if you want to make sure that you have this information, that if Amazon ever did anything funky, like said, hey, this book isn't actually yours, some person is claiming that it's theirs, having the copyright could be very beneficial. Second question here is, are there any other professional steps that I could take to prepare myself for the future, to be more solid? I am always recommending that authors consult with a tax professional. Why a tax professional? Because what I have learned is when you are earning a certain amount from your books, it becomes so much more advantageous if you have the right business entity. I was advised many years ago to move from a single member LLC to an LLC with an S Corp designation. because it reduced my taxes. Now, as the business has grown from earning hundreds of thousands of dollars to over $1 million, I'm very glad I made this change because it saved tens of thousands of dollars in taxes each year. And so I highly, highly recommend that that was not tax advice, financial advice. I highly, highly recommend that you do not just go based off of my advice. You go talk to a tax professional. If you're not earning much from your books, it may not matter as much, but even saving some money on your taxes can make a big difference. So, before we go into the lightning round, I teased you on what is going to be changing. So, very, very exciting stuff. If you enjoy chatting with me and hearing from me, we are going to start doing the Sell More Book Show live on Tuesdays. Right now, we have this in at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. On Tuesdays, we are going to record the next day's show. So it will go live the following day. We are going to record this. It is going to be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Ideally, we can get it to go to TikTok too, although they have some troubles with live. What does it mean that you can actually be there live? You can actually ask me questions. You can actually talk to me. And one of my goals with this is while I am live, while I am talking to you guys, I am going to encourage you to share the show. I want more people to know that we exist. Because after a certain point, you email enough times, you run ads enough times, you've kind of blanketed everybody. I want people to know that this show exists because I am so fortunate that over the last 11 years, my life and my abilities as an author, coach, person have grown so much. And it's amazing that we're helping thousands of authors every single month through our free courses, through our paid things, through running Facebook and Amazon ads for authors, to coaching high-level authors. And I think just a lot of people don't even know that we exist because podcasts kind of have been taken over by celebrities to a certain extent. And so I am trying to take things to a new level. You can have more access if you show up on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern. That will be at, I suppose, 10 a.m. Pacific. That will be at 6 p.m. UK time. It'll be a little early for Australia. I apologize for that. But stay tuned for that because starting next week, the date we have in mind is Tuesday, April 7th. We will do the show live, and then that recording will be used the following day. So stay tuned for those. A lot of these are likely to be solo episodes, though I reserve the right to have a guest every so often. So we'll save a question of the week for the end. But here are some of the lightning round questions. Bryan says you frequently advise writers to write a new book one to push their book in the right direction. That would mean ideally you make every book a book one. And so we should write standalones, right? And my answer to that was I actually think more people should write series starters. More often than not, writing a new book one is going to be better than writing book 4 in a series that doesn't sell. But then Shayna said, only problem is there is no book one really hits big for new authors generally until a whole series is out. You can't put the chicken before the egg. Got to keep trying new series until a series hits. I respectfully disagree with you, Shayna. I have seen it where a new book one sells so much better than the previous series, you just know. You know that it is a hit. Now, there's the old adage from the CD Baby guy. If it's not a hit, pivot. And you keep pivoting and you keep pivoting and you keep pivoting. But if there is a hit, you double down on it. You focus on it. You run more ads to it. You start writing the second book to it. I have been fortunate enough to see authors in their second series, their third series, their fourth series, find something that actually does hit. So it is possible, Shayna. I know that you might not have seen it amongst people you've worked with or you've seen out there, but it is possible. It is possible. Let's see. Do hashtags make a difference anymore? Do they have any value? Look, I still see, and this is from Patrick, I still do see people using hashtags. I don't think they have a ton of value these days on social media. More often than not, the thing to focus more on your social media is your hook, the hook of your video, the words that are displayed or that are spoken right at the beginning of a video or the beginning of a slideshow. This matters more. Your hook is everything. And once you identify a hook that could actually get more attention, you are going to want to use variations on that as much as you can. All right. Shayna did ask, can you break down major genre trends by major genre umbrella and talk about what's happening in each subset, how it relates to the bigger picture in the publishing industry? Yeah, I mean, we could absolutely take a whole show on this, Shayna. I think the best thing to do is to pay attention to two places in your genre. You want to pay attention to what is the social media chatter? What's going viral? What are people talking about? What are people sharing and going crazy on? And then you want to look at that top 100 in your genre. I would say it wouldn't be a bad idea if you took a half hour every week. To just look at the top 100 of your genre and then look to see what posts are viral in your genre. That might be a good use for the hashtags, actually, Patrick. Looking at the hashtags that are trending related to your genre, look at the videos that are trending there. That could be a valuable use. But, I don't see a ton of genre-specific news cross my desk that often, but I'm very open to if genre-specific info comes across my desk, I would love, love, love to take a peek at it. Bethany says, I would love it if you have a co-host that is killing it on Kobo Plus. And she says, your news and tips are awesome. Thank you, Bethany. Appreciate you. Thanks for listening. So I have not come across very many people who are killing it on Kobo Plus. I do know they exist. I will keep an eye out. If you're out there and you're killing it on Kobo Plus, come to me. But here's the thing. I think more authors who are wide need to think of each individual platform release as its own launch. Yes, you could do it all at the same time. Yes, you could release it on Kobo and Barnes & Noble and Apple and on Overdrive and all the places all at the same time. This is easy to do with an aggregator like Draft2Digital. You could absolutely do this. But you want to think about, well, what is my marketing plan on Kobo? Am I going to do those Kobo promos? Am I going to subscribe to all the Kobo mailing lists so I can see what's going on there? Am I going to get the Kobo app and flip through and see what's going on? Each individual platform has its own way of doing things. And the more you stay attuned to that, the more likely you are to succeed. So I would highly, highly recommend you see what kind of tips and tricks are happening on each individual platform. All right. Cody says, as I can't get the straw from my drink into my mouth. So Cody says, I hear KDP is beta testing the AI translations. Is this true? Yes, this is true. The latest is that Amazon is experimenting with AI translations. Right now, what I have seen It's one of the most prevalent is English to Spanish. I have seen this. It is a one-click thing. You can't really edit it. And Amazon technically has the rights to it after you do it. Now, does that mean you shouldn't do it? Not necessarily, but I don't think you should expect a ton. I do think that while there is a market for Spanish translations, I am not certain that there is a huge market for AI written Spanish translations. There could be. I haven't seen a ton of people who've done the translations see much come from it. The more prevalent translations I've seen, German, Italian, French, those are more likely to be the ones that lead to some kind of sale, but it's not an always thing. And now there are tools out there like Scribe Shadow that a lot of people are using in order to generate more translations more quickly. And so keep that in mind that yes, it's out there. Yes, some people have access to it. For most, I would say it is likely a shiny object. Cody says, I've noticed that Amazon has stopped showing overall rankings for some books. I haven't noticed this. Maybe it depends on where you're looking, Cody. I always look on mobile, and I always see the total Kindle store ranking. But you know, Amazon is always testing these things out, right? Amazon is always trying things. Amazon is always seeing what might help the books convert better. Shane, one of our top responders. Shane, I feel like I'm reading a comment from you almost every week, and I appreciate you greatly. Shane says, I would love to hear about alternative income streams for authors. Okay. And he says, as a rule, though, keep doing what you're doing. There are very few podcasts that have held my attention for as long as you have. I'm very honored, Shane, so very much appreciate it. And I promise that as the show changes, I will try to keep your attention. So, what are some alternative income streams for authors? I would look toward things that you like doing. It's just like I always say with marketing. If you find something you like doing that happens to sell more books, that you're good at doing, it can propel you to any income level you want with your books. But let's say that's challenging. Let's take a step back from that and say, if you can find something you like doing that you can get paid for, then maybe that is worth considering. Look, something that we have been doing, we have been looking at, well, how can we help underserved parts of the author community? How can we help people that have been getting scammed by $20,000, $40,000, $100,000 publishing packages? How can we help them for a lower cost? And so it's really like looking at what is needed and can you deliver on this? Now, I know plenty of authors who are editors on the side. I know authors who help people publish books on the side, who help people format on the side. They get vellum and they do the formatting. I think that if there is a part of the publishing process you enjoy, Shane, I would look to, Ken, is that something I could offer? Is that something I could put on Fiverr? Is that something I could do on Upwork? Is that something I could share? But remember, if you have a part of your actual publishing, your writing that works well, we have an author who recently joined our Groundbreakers program who is actually doing pretty well, but almost all of it is at live events, and he's looking to do better overall. But if you find there is a part of your writing, your self-publishing, that is your most profitable part, I think the easiest thing you can do is do less of the other stuff and focus in more on that. I realize, you guys, because I jumped right into the lightning round, I didn't do my lightning. Kapow! There it is, a little bit late. Anne-Marie said, news, tips, and his own wisdom is what you want to share. I hope that you have felt those news, those tips, and that wisdom, Anne-Marie, one of our longest listeners. Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. One thing I will note. So, we are starting to wrap up our show Joy Made a Millionaire. We wrapped up the first season as of this coming out, and we are going to be bringing in some of the sense from Joy Made Millionaire into the Sell More Book Show. Why would we talk about mindset and happiness in a podcast about book marketing? Because here's what I found, y'all. And this is heavily, heavily inspired by me having taught some amazing authors as part of my Pathfinders Author Mastermind for authors earning over $2,500 or more. I work directly with you in a mastermind group. I have found that more often than not, what helps a person grow and expand is their mindset. What keeps an author held back is their limiting beliefs. It is not because you're not good at marketing. It is not because you didn't learn this magical thing with your books. It is because of mindset, internal beliefs, internal conflicts. And so we are going to bring that more into, we'll call this Sell More Book Show 3.0, as we bring this into a new live responsive thing. I'm very, very, very excited to be doing this. So I want you to definitely let me know. Our question of the week is, what are you most excited about weekly Sell More Book Show live? What are you the most excited about? Let me know over at the Sell More Book Show after party or at sellmorebookshow.com. Thank you for listening today, guys. I want you to remember we have our high-level coaching program, our Pathfinders Author Mastermind. We have our done-for-you Amazon ads and Facebook ads. And we have our high-level coaching for it's available to all authors, our Groundbreakers Author Mastermind. These are all available, and we would love to help you get to the next level. Just message us, email us at Bryan, BRYAN, at sellingforauthors.com, and we will help you out, help you grow. Just as Sell More Book Show grows, we will help you grow. But thank you to all of you for being here and listening. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I hope you have an amazing week of book selling, and we will be back next week for episode 626. Take care, everybody, and maybe I'll see you live on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everybody.